tuning in now or after the live, please make sure to hit that like button. It's a very important live to hit the like button if you appreciate my content, if you appreciate my dedication, if you just appreciate the fact that I give you it straight. Not only hit the like button today, but also hit the subscribe button, as we've had a obvious move here in XRP. I've been trying to telegraph this the best I could, and I told everybody, consistency is how you're going to know that I'm being truthful. I can't lie to you and say it's going to go down and up, down. I'm telling you the area I thought it was going to go up, and we're going to divulge into this pattern formation. We're going to look a little bit deeper into what's actually going on fundamentally with XRP, and we're going to look to see in the market cap if this is sustainable. It's not just XRP though, as there's been some news here, as the Bitcoin ETF was essentially approved today. I'll go through a quick intro here in a second. And I'll also say hi to the early comers, but we've got a lot to talk about. I would expect this to be maybe a little busier of a live, but you never know because I'm on 7 hours earlier than normal. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be on tonight. This just means that I found it very necessary to do a live now. I didn't immediately come on live after the move up, but I did do an update and broke the Bitcoin ETF news as well to everybody. But I'm trying to do this in a way where I knew we were going to consolidate here. So let's get started here. I just wanted to make sure this was up on, because it's taken forever for this to come up on my phone. All right, welcome in everybody. So RC, Crypto Bob Gypsy, KB, RC Krugel, Mario, Kryptonian, Devin, welcome in. Ken Plain, good morning. Tim Bates, welcome. It's essentially approved. They have to overlook it. It's essentially basically the reversal means that they're going to approve the ETF. You can read between the lines. I'm reading between the lines. That was the last line of defense of not approving it. So on a technicality, I guess you could say it's not approved, but it's approved. That's just that's my interpretation of it. So good early afternoon, 12:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, as we can see with XRP, up 3% on the day. But you're not wrong, Tim. You are not wrong. XRP's up just about 3% on the day. As we've been talking about, XRP, the apex point in this pattern, was out on August 31st. Technically, it could have went out from there, but it did pull up previous to that. We've been talking about, I know it's been at least 12 days, about this potential move, or likely move. As I said, it behooves us not to come retest this area. And we didn't know where it would be. Like I said, every time we closed on the daily below, it would slowly come down. So right now it was at about 55.50. We came up to 55 cents. Is that close enough? I don't necessarily think so. But there's a lot of stuff that's pushing in on this. I feel like this is a bull trap, nothing. No, this move is nothing so far. Let me finish my thought. As I said, for a further move down for the death cross to be confirmed with XRP, I felt like there was no way that you could move down because it's a bull flag showing here without not only getting a rejection here, but I think for the fuller bull trap, as Prosperity Fund is saying, I think for a proper bull trap, XRP would likely, the move's not done, we would get a continuation out of this and likely find ourselves square at the 4-hour resistance and the 4-hourly and the 200. So I think we would come up there, and then that could be where the bull trap is set. I think right now we're setting up a likely continuation because I don't think we've satisfied this move yet. Because if you know, as I've been saying, and I feel like a broken record, we have this what looks like a bull flag, but I think it's a bear flag, but I think it's a bull flag in disguise. So I thought that was going to break up. Now, what I will say is in the all-time pattern, we have not broken out of the short-term formation yet. We still need to get on top of and hold, as I said in the earlier update, 542 after the breakout. That's the level we're going to know if we're going to get a continuation. Good afternoon, Sean. Welcome in. Massey, thank you so much. I love doing the lives as well. Makes my day. Just everybody, please make sure to hit the like button. As I'm not even going to look to see how many people are in here for a little while. I don't like to see the numbers. I just like to talk as if it's just me and my closest friends. And then if others want to join, so be it. So, yeah, I appreciate that, XRP Fried Chicken. And welcome to the family, joining Tom's Army in month 1 earlier today, joined. And I know he's in month 1 because he's got an emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And my face is superimposed on that badge. It was made for me from somebody that I met while on social media, ironically. She does crocheting, and she made me that emoji badge. But every single month it changes from month 1 to month 6 or month 7, and then in year 1 you get a new emoji badge, and then in year 2 you get the 589 badge, which I kept speculating that at the end of 2023, when everybody said it'd be $589, I said, wouldn't it be more likely to be 58.9 cents? And everybody got mad. But, you know, we're just talking about market cap. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to end higher. But what it means is this pattern formation, if we're just being realistic, because we're going to look at the bullish narrative here. Oh, believe me, and you better have one of these today. Believe me, we're going to look at the bullish narrative. Now, I would also like to know, did anybody pay attention? Because everybody asked me about futures trading. Did anybody pay attention to the hints I gave in yesterday's live in order to open a futures trade for yourself? Even though I don't talk about it, I gave the perfect pattern setup, and I even talked about, without saying that it was for futures, I said if there was ever a time, and I talked about the formation here, how it was tightening down, and we had this support that we held, so you could technically do a stop loss right below this formation here. When it touched down at 50, it was like 513 roughly. It was yesterday's live. It's just uptrending support. We used that candle as a basis right here at 513. You could have went down a little lower, but using this formation for a breakout, understanding that it could go to August 24th or 31st, that was an opportunity if you were a futures trader. I was trying to telegraph it for the ones in the audience, because there are a lot, and I do put hidden messages, and I appreciate when people do message and comment me after and saying thank you. You know, it's for the ones who know. I always say, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Because if it's not part of your world, I don't speak to you. I speak in a broader term. So, technically, it was just one of those moments. Do you take it? Do you take advantage of it? Or are you willing to take any kind of risk with your portfolio that's not associated with it? And like I always say, I have separate parts of my portfolio for that kind of stuff if I ever want to do it. Haven't done it in a long time. But, you know, it was one of those opportunities. And, what was it? At the exact number. So right now it's up. If you took it, I don't know what the percentages are. If you were to have took a trade like that, I can just speak from my personal experience. Because I do believe in what I do. So there are ways for me to, you know, make capital, like I say. But you've got to trust yourself. You can't trust somebody else. I'm reading through all the comments. There's so many comments today. Thank you all so much for tuning in already. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, if you take trades like that, you've just got to be very careful, because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, easy money can be made by futures trading, but you can also lose your entire portfolio if done wrong. Most people use their current XRP holdings to leverage trade with. If you ever do it, throw $100 to the side and then try to do it from there on a 2x. But I don't advise it, because it's so easy to lose money. Remember how many people went short? And this is the only reason that I even opened this trade. Everybody said they were going short, and I said, I'm doing the opposite. I said, when everybody goes one way, you go the other. You go the other. And that's all I'm going to say. 46% is where it's at right now. Because when everybody's telling you there's going to be downside liquidity, you know it's got to have a liquidity grab. I screamed for that area for a week, 10 days, 12 days. It just has to happen. Now, this is also an opportune time to watch to see if we get this rejection now, which is what we're looking for. Remember, overly bearish in the daily. It doesn't matter about this formation yet. You would first have to break up above this formation, and I only showed that for transparency because some people dog me. There's ways to do this with what I'm saying. A cool note, a cool little message from somebody, and this is what I'm trying to teach. Andre messaged me today in the comments. I watch every day and slowly learning how you read the charts. Because I watch daily, when I saw this spike, I remember you said this could happen. Could have broken lower. Your analysis is measured and balanced. Thank you. And that's what I want people to gather out of this. If you come here every single day, I want the audience to know I'm very consistent. I don't charge for anything. There's no paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. Don't charge for any of my content. That's why it's vital for anybody who joins Tom's Army and understands the value of my work and the time I put in, because it's a lot. I got to go get the kids at like 2:30 from school, as they already started today. It's crazy. The oldest started 11th grade. Don't remind me. The youngest just turned 10 on Saturday. So it's like, or not the youngest, but the youngest girl, but our youngest is 4. Or the youngest in the house. I should say, I'm stepdad to the 2 oldest. Since the oldest one was 6 and the younger one was just over 1. So it's been a long journey. But anyhow, this is what we're approaching right now. We need to see if we can break out in the daily time frame. That's the bottom line. Daily time frame comes first because we're working on a death cross here. Don't forget that. 20 crosses, the 50 and the 100. This is still overly bearish in the short term. In the weekly, we're still overly bullish. This weekly candle, yes, we held the 200, but now are we making a move to try to close the weekly above 55 cents? That would validate the golden cross recovery, but it wouldn't bring you out of this neck of the woods yet. And I'll show you why. Just because you're safe in the weekly, the daily, thank you, Crawbillies. I appreciate that. Omar, God bless you as well. Thank you for that. But the daily, we cannot, just because we come over 55.5, which ironically, in the weekly, what does this mean, everybody? What happens here? What do I always say? When there's conformity, when there's transparency, you know you're going to come up there at some point. We've got the weekly at 545, where we're trying to close the weekly over. We've got the, we've got the daily just over that at 555. So if we close the weekly right now, it's beautiful, but the daily is still kicking in the old grotesques here. So you want to close above both of them, but ultimately, if you're trying to do a short-term reversal now and try to go back to the bullish side of town, you've now got to correct your downfalls. As I've said, this is a bull flag. I didn't care what anybody really said. It seems like a bull flag disguised in a bear flag. It hasn't broken out yet, though. Technically, you got to bring the swing high here and this rotation at 557. Otherwise, this is very bearish. Ultimately, you've got to break over the 200-day to signify the short-term pattern reversal. But with what's going on with Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin, XRP is getting ready, I believe, to have a slap-in-the-face moment, as I've told everybody. Everything about the weekly reeks bullish. Reeks bullish. That volume discrepancy is showing a bullish divergence in volume compared to price action. So the price action on the way up had volume to support it. On the way down, volume is crashing. And remember I said we would create at some point a fake out so that we would have the downtrending resistance. Remember when we talked about this, when I said this area didn't make sense, we had to have one more fake out down? Hey, look at my friend. Hey. See, I don't want to kill the bees, but I also don't want to get stung by one today. Get stung enough in the garden. So we've talked about the weekly volume. It would prove itself, and we would form a resistance. See, we formed the resistance on that spike. I'm not trying to trick anybody. I'm just out ahead a lot of times. I talked about this weeks ago, if anybody remembers. On every single candle down, I said eventually we're going to form that downtrend, and the moment we break over, that bullish divergence is complete. Now we have the spectrum. Now we know where it's at. Can we break out in the weekly volume? In order for us to officially break out in the weekly volume, that was at 286 million. We're going to have to be over probably 200 million in the weekly to start pushing this up. XRP, if it breaks down, the next major target, if you break this ascending triangle formation up here, does everybody understand this though? Does everybody understand the discrepancy when it comes to price action and volume? So you want volume to predict price. Ready? Up, up. We had good volume. Now on the way down, 166. Volume's crashing, 165 from 518 million. We continue to be transparent and say XRP in the bull market of 2021 had 5 billion in the weekly volume. Right now it's 500 million, 10% of the volume. Doesn't mean it can't change, but it's also controlling a large portion of the market. It was controlling 21% of the market cap when it had that run. Big difference from 2021. So now we continue down, 122 million, down to 100 million. We had this big breakdown here and it was 286 million. That was what I was talking about forming the actual fake out. That's the move down that formed. That's what we needed. It can still come further, but we're starting to form this. No, crawbillies, no, there's no actual relation between crypto and precious metals. Typically when XRP is bullish and risk assets, because that's what crypto is, gold and silver, if the dollar's crashing to spur on that rally, the gold and silver rallies. Right now, gold and silver, I guarantee you, is up. Guarantee it. Well, if you want gold to start breaking out, it's got to break 1934. It's in a major falling channel. It was an excellent question. Whoever asked that, who asked that? Crawbillies, that was an excellent question. So continuing, we got this manipulated down, or whatever you want to call it. We needed another move with severe volume on the downside, and we got it. This gives us our trend line. Once we break above this in a bullish fashion, this will prove a bullish divergence. We've had more than and look how this lines up, and then we'll go back into the current moment and look at Bitcoin. We had a 52% correction, but the volume crashed by 400%. So when we watch this, this is what we do. But I like to front run things, and I used to not show this with the divergent when it came to like the bullish divergence with price action in relation to volume. But this is what we need. Metals is fool's gold. Try selling the top for 4 seconds. That's a very victim-like comment. Why are you selling your metals? That's an idiotic thing to do. No offense. That's under the same light of I'm going to sell my crypto for fiat. Makes no fucking sense, no offense. I mean, that kind of a comment, it's just going to hurt you. Anyhow, that's what's going on with the weekly. So anyhow, this formation now that we know what's going on in the weekly, for one second, I just want to see what happened up here. So gold's up 16, silver's up 2%. That gold silver ratio is at 78.3. US dollar, as I've talked about. Our next major consolidation is going to have to be at 103.15, given crypto, if it's verifying the death cross in the daily. We're going to get supported in the daily on the DXY at 103.15 area. So that's what we're watching. This could be a fake out in crypto with the consolidation, because this is looking more in a bullish setup. It could be a fake out, though. That's what we're talking about. So we're paying attention. That's how we know this stuff is going to happen. I said Michael Berry put that short out with very little of his profits because he's very much long still, so that there would be a lot of topside liquidity. What ended up happening? We had a major move here. XRP's up 836 million. Bitcoin's up 7 million, or 7%, but up 1,900 points over 28,000. Michael Berry's short is down something like 50% now. But you have to remember, he leveraged out a short with like 25 million to equal some couple $1 billion with leverage. Only 25 million was his own money. Also, he has hundreds of millions, almost billions of dollars in profits. He took a small amount, but they manipulated everybody. They deceive everybody and try to act like there's this massive short going on when I told you it was optics. There was no way that was panning out. It was impossible. The total crypto market cap is up 5.44%, $56 billion right now, up to 1.069 or 09 trillion. What's the level we talked about? Having to confirm the death cross. Everybody needs to go back and watch, especially yesterday's video. When I vehemently, yesterday and the day before in the live, said all these shorts, this is a way to trap everybody. There's no way they're going to tell you everybody's going short and make it public knowledge if the market's about to go down, period. Kraft, have a good one. See you later, my friend. Paper metals is absolutely not where it's at. Do not listen to that. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. If you're doing paper, it's very heavily manipulated and it can always go away. Would you rather own silver bullion or SLV? The way you answer that describes a lot about your investments. I can sell it every day on the streets. What are you talking about? You ever hear of a pawn shop, my friend? You get it 1-to-1. I do it all the time. You get it 1-to-1 if I'm trying to trade gold for silver. How do you think I do it? Yeah. You pawn shops all over the USA. You walk in, they pay you per ounce. So, but that's all I'm going to refer to that, because obviously that's just a what do I call it? Someone who tries to ruin the flow in here. So they're just someone who just comes in to try to say the opposite. So everybody who's taught me that, touche. So right now, 1.095 trillion, hit it exactly. Hit it exactly. So we're going to see what happens here. We've got see, I love this. There we go. I needed a break. Anybody can do that, by the way. If you can see me start talking about the positivity being ruined and you're a moderator, please don't hesitate to do that. Please. I'm not going to speak of it unless I'm not getting in a place that I don't want to be. So we've got XDC up 10.85%. Remember the consolidation yesterday? What did we talk about? 575. That's our pivot level. We break up, we hit 575. We talked about the possible breakout that should be happening after the descending triangle, you can say, we're in. And we formed the short-term pattern to prove where the breakout would happen. And once it broke over, it was over. But the bottom line is that pattern. Now we can take the short term. But the overall pattern, we nailed it. Hit the apex. And it all... What the hell happened there? I think I deleted the wrong one. Whoops. But it hit the apex moment perfectly. But that's how you know with pattern formations. That's how we knew the apex was there. But now in this kind of a formation, typically, if this 575 holds, there's nothing until the next level, 709 approximately. But ultimately, we should be able to finish this and come all the way up to 785. If this does it properly. So now we can get a rally. Because if we're going to have a death cross and we're going to have a further move down, you would need further liquidity, as we've tried to state over and over. I've tried. So now we're going to see, are we going to get this proper push? Are we going to get a correction in the 30-minute? As that is a long leg doji. So it's still showing inconsistency in this level. I don't like to say showing off. I like just touch bases on everything I've said leading up to this. I don't think there's anybody more transparent than me, and anybody else who, you know, takes the bashing I take for no reason. But, you know, I take that with grace, because we're the light in the world of darkness. You see the ones using emotion and the ones who aren't. You see what positivity gets you and what negatively breeds you. You see how you get respect from me, or you get put in the, you know, a negative outlook, let's just say. You can earn my respect, just like I earn yours. But if you disrespect me, it's very easy to lose it, and it's very hard to gain it back. Oh, I know you're, Terry, I absolutely know you are. Absolutely. Oh, speaking of solo as well, we got to get back to XRP, but we're looking at this formation here, try to play out. But solo we've talked about as well. What was it in? Very big falling channel. I actually put this piece of the puzzle together, remember yesterday, and said our next move? Hit it today. This was a beautiful live yesterday that everybody needs to watch. I showed the falling channel before, and then I connected the dots yesterday for everybody before the breakout. This is your uptrend, downtrending resistance, use it as support. Next layer is right here. Telegraph it for everybody, because I want everybody to understand how we get to where we're going. I don't just do XRP. I do it all. And that's not a flex. That's reality, so that we can stay in line. I want to stay in the proper perspective. But we've done nothing yet today. That's what I want to... We've done nothing so far. We have to invalidate what looks like an apparent death cross in the making until we invalidate it. Just like with XLM when we did it yesterday. We know the overall breakout, but this is the first spot it could have broke out because we started creating a support structure here finally. Now we hit it in the apex zone, and now we're trying to push out to our next resistance at 13.2. Right now, though, we're getting rejected at the 200-day. So we're watching this play out. That's a slightly, little bit of a falling channel, you could say, or a descending triangle. It was just in the short term. But there's so many ways to perceive this. Bitcoin was the main player, though, as we always talk about. Bitcoin, we knew the pattern formation. We knew the breakdown out of the broadening wedge, which I know it was a broadening wedge and got validated by that entire move down as it basically hit the entire move. It missed it by 160. I predicted that move down from when Bitcoin was in this formation way up here. If we broke down, I said that it would come down to 25,193, 194. It hit 25,371. And then I said it had to retest in the daily that death cross at minimum. And now we've come over it, and I said if you break that, you would retest the pattern breakdown, which we're almost there. But you have to get through these moving averages. So if Bitcoin moves up farther, first retest is going to be around 28,700 area. Then have to get over 28,900 to get back in the broadening wedge. But this is a volatile spike. Do we have volume to support it? We have 6 hours and 44 minutes left in the daily. The bring down volume, 4.95K, so 4,950 Bitcoin. So far in the pull up, 3,885. We have a chance. I don't have the stomach to bear the bearable bull. He just lost people so much money. I can't even find humor in anything he does. No offense. He's one of the ones who takes sponsorships and all that stuff to the next level and makes a shit ton of money off everybody just watching. With a controlled opposition. That's an agenda. Make everybody broke on YouTube. That's the social agenda. Make all your listeners broke before the big breakout for liquidity. I promise you. Oh, gotcha. I'm just saying I don't have any stomach left to watch even a second of that. So anyhow, this is what we're looking at for Bitcoin. 4-hour time frame. We're at the 200-day right now, so we've got to get on top of and hold 27,700, which means that's our next retest right now. In the immediate short term, that's going to be our first layer, 27,700. Let's remember that level. So we'll put it there. So that's our first layer. If we can hold that, we won't have to have a further correction because that's the 200 and the 4-hour. You've got to start finding the levels here. This is your first attempt to try to reverse this pattern. So, and we're just taking this in unity. We're not trying to break out ahead of the pattern. We're taking this in stride. You don't do it on emotion. You do it based on analytics. You don't do it based on feelings. You do it based on the charts, technicals. You don't do it based on the news and the media. You do it based on what's happening around the world with adoption, with what's happening with the Bitcoin ETF, with the Ethereum ETF, with the fact that not just Grayscale beat the SEC just now, at least so far, but the fact that BlackRock is also trying to start a Bitcoin ETF. When you have Grayscale and Bitcoin, the entire perspective changes, period. That's a lot of liquidity coming in. And also, you think it's any coincidence that Brad Garlinghouse announces a watch party or a victory party on September 29th? The cup and handle is absolutely in play on XRP. We've actually put in the most bullish handle you could possibly put on XRP in the weekly. If you're looking at this cup and handle, we came all the way back down. Actually, it's easier in the daily. We came all the way back down and touched every single handle we could have broke out of. Every single level we've come back and touched down. Every one of them came through. It's not a handle right now. You could come up and build a big handle. Right now, it's technically a failure if we get rejected here. So you can look at it one of two ways. Are we looking for the rejection to put the bearish handle on the cup, like something like this, and then a further break? Or are we doing something like this where ultimately we're going to create what looks like a handle out? So basically, like I always say, you hold the teapot. I think this was a mass liquidity grab, as I said. I told everybody, if you're not in this for the long term, you can sell it at 94, but you're not going to be able to. But you can do it at 85 on the run up. And I showed every level where I would have sold if my plan wasn't not to get tagged by a 35% hit in capital gains. And the fact that I accumulate in a bear market so that I can maximize the bull market rally. This is a bear market rally. Don't care what anybody says. Doesn't matter to me. It is what it is. Right now, you can even see, if you start here, resistance that forming. Again, this is my own opinion, but you can see a channel that's forming. Whether you want to admit it, or you want to see it or not, or you acknowledge the way I do things, I just want you to learn. So that's why I take the positive, but I stick to what I know, because I'll get burned if I listen to everybody, because there's a lot of nefarious actors. Just remember that. I'm not saying any of you are, but there's always a nefarious character. So look what XRP is secretly forming here. Does everybody see this? Does everybody see the rising channel? If this is a rising channel, what's a rising channel ultimately? Bearish. We need to get on top of what looks like a possible channel forming. Period. No ifs and buts. This has to happen. If we want this to maintain bull, it's true. Do you see this? True's in here, and he's one that I've been bouncing things off of for years. Do you see what's forming here, True? This could potentially be a rising channel forming. So let's just be cautious here, ladies and gentlemen. We could have very well started secretly. I don't even want to say secretly, but very sneakily here. Started forming now with that hit of resistance and the drop down, and now forming this support here. That could have started a channel. I'm just saying, even if we just use the evidence in front of us, resistance, resistance, resistance. Support, support, support. 3 hits confirms the pattern. So let's just pay attention here, everybody. What do you think of this? I want to know right now, what is everybody thinking? I'm going to light my cannabis because it's legal in Michigan. I encourage you, if you have it, to light it. But I want to know what everybody thinks. If you appreciate my work, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Only 80 likes today. We can do better than that. With the information today, to only have 81 likes, 131 people watching, please hit that like button. That's actually a little bit of a sign of disrespect that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I put a lot of stock into those likes. It's free. If you don't want to hit the like button, you can always subscribe to the channel in Tom's Army, or you can send a YouTube super chat if you don't want to. But please hit that like button and give me the proper respect that I deserve, so that my content can reach more people. The more people that hit that like button, the farther YouTube will push me through the algorithm, and more like you and I can come in. But like I said, don't hesitate. If you want to show proper support and send a YouTube super chat, haven't had any today. If you want to join Tom's Army, haven't had any since the live started. You know, you can always do that. You can also turn on the bell notification. So, but right now, we'll see. If you want this pattern to maintain overly bullish, we have some work to do here. That's the rising channel in the market cap. Ultimately, we're going to have to break out here because it looks like we're forming a channel here. So let's just watch this. And let's, hey, Peter Pan, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I appreciate that. Always nice when someone pays it forward. Love the constant updates. Disregard the negative knowledge. I think I'm doing a much better job now, in my own way. So XRP and the same thing that we've been seeing. Brian, dude, I'm new to the channel. New to it all, but I'm finding your content pretty damn good. It's helping as I get my head around the bit slowly. Yes, it's going to take a long time, but day after day, you're going to start to form a proper perspective, I promise. That's why I have to come on all the time. Some people think I'm insane because I legitimately come on so many times a day. Oh, look, it even moved this chart. In real time, you guys just seen this chart move. That is so awesome. I mean, we were using this chart, remember? It moved it all the way down. Okay. So what we were talking about with the market cap, as we're trying to push 54 cents again, we talked about that channel that could be forming. And we're just going to do it here just so we can stay on the same page. That, I think, is really clear. That is a really clear channel that's formed on the resistance. Man, this is going to cloud it up a little bit. But you know what? That's why this is the short-term pattern. It's ever evolving. And you have to stay one step ahead of it and pay attention to the signals. I don't know, man. This could get scary if it uses this. Hold on, I gotta fix this. I mean, you could even come back farther. That's the problem. What is that arrow? It's gonna be hard to hit this in the daily properly. I think we can though. I think I'm gonna go to the 4 hourly. I want to see where that formation is. No, we're pretty close, but you see down here we have this little wick. That's the body where it actually kind of did a V-shaped recovery. Yeah, so I mean, look at that. That looks like a channel forming. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but for this to maintain, we have to break back above that. So if you want to see if we're bullish or bearish, perfect indicator. You have to break this rising, what looks like a rising channel forming. We've already had 3 hits on each side, so there's no point to, try to invalidate what we're seeing. RC Krugel, I do agree with you, Tom. This side from South Africa, we appreciate all you do. I appreciate that greatly. The Trump interview with Tucker Carlson, I did see, yes. But I don't want to talk politics, as I believe that's the biggest way to divide. And I don't believe in blue versus red, because I believe the central banks are what run the world. So I believe politics has no place. But I do like Trump. I do. I can't help that. So somebody's got to be in office. I like seeing him there. Let's just say that. He may not have got the whole debt under control and the global exporting and importing thing solved, but it was a lot easier to live in the USA because it's focused on the workers instead of the ones on the system. That's your biggest difference with Democrats and Republicans. More money goes towards the ones who stay at home versus more incentives for businesses if Republicans are in office. That's the only difference. So you tend to get more votes with people that don't have to work. FYI, no different. So anyhow, the daily time frame is up here at 557 roughly. I said 555, which is where we're looking. So in the immediate short term, what does everybody think? I've talked myself out. This is our first line of resistance, though, in the 30-minute. If we get rejected here, as this looks like it could be forming a bigger correction here to come back down here and try to show support at 527. So we have to see how this plays out in this immediate short term. It's not guaranteed that that's going to happen because we can very well break out of this candle. The higher time frames are starting to wind down here in the 2 hour. So we're going to see that was a pretty big hit at the 2 hour the resistance. We have 38 minutes in now. Wow, it's already been 38 minutes. I must talk a lot. My analyst friend said the train has left the station. Mark, everybody always says the train's left the station. But until it actually leaves the station, the only way to say that ultimately, but look everybody, the 2 hourly looks very bearish for the DXY. Who could have guessed that? We still got a little more of a correction to go, it looks like. At 103 spot 18. So, and that's exactly where we talked about as well. Because we need a correction at the 30-minute time frame to see whether or not the short term is bullish or bearish. I mean at the daily time frame, not the daily time frame. This is what we're ultimately trying to see. We're trying to see if this golden cross is going to happen and if it's bullish. It's at 103 spot 113 right now. So we're going to have to see there, ladies and gentlemen. That's our big thing we're waiting for. Main reason I came live is because this is the action moment right now. I also did an update when all this was happening, but I wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. But we're in an area right now where we're trying to break out. We got a firm rejection so far. Remember what we talked about? This is the move we've been waiting for. Now it's happening. Whether you look in the futures or the perpetual futures chart, whether you look at these on Bitstamp or Binance, it's all the same. We're making that retest we talked about. Now this is where you're ultimately going to see, are we short-term bearish in the immediate short term, as now you can see the further expansion of this pattern to complete it, as now we don't have to paraphrase, you've got this made now. So now you can essentially delete that, and now you've got your true form here. Does anybody see? So make sure you update it as it comes to play. That's your true perception of this pattern now. You don't have to guess. That's your downtrending resistance. Break that, and you can maybe start hitting some of this topside liquidity. Reject there, it's going to be a very tough sell, especially if you come back through the 503 support. You can see how it's closing. You can go up higher, but that's to show you the exact, the total amount that this is ranged. But anyhow, that's what you're trying to break up. So I think that was a bull flag. It's trying to figure it out inside of a bear flag. It's very calculated no matter what you do. The major resistance in the all-time pattern, the bottom line, is this downtrending resistance that was formed at the resistance top within a much wider pattern that goes back 2.5 years on the downtrending resistance, over 3 years on the uptrending support from 2020. That's how you get the 378 roughly uptrend at the 2020 uptrend. And now we need to break over the short-term resistance that formed in March of 2023. We finally had a breakout. Now we're trying to see if it's a support or a resistance. And that would allow us to come back up to the top of this pattern at 76 cents likely, assuming we break the short-term narrative. But that would be our next major resistance if you take out the short-term movements. But we don't want to take out the short-term movements because we want to see where everything goes. And that's why I put them into separate charts. And this is how you get the short-term movements. Are we in a rising channel? This I'm taking off because it's irrelevant. That descending wedge or falling wedge it's irrelevant. We've got our new levels, and that's just confusing. So that's what we're looking at right now. We really truly are. Even this is confusing. You don't need all that. But as we'll continue to say, drop down to perceive and deceive as a bear flag came up now and could be breaking out of what could be a bull flag. XDC is a little bit of ahead of XRP. It was behind, but now it is absolutely ahead. Almost identical charts. Absolutely good look. That's why I think we're going to get a continuation move out of XRP at some point here. It could be now. Could be with further consolidation, but it looks identical. As you can see, it's an identical correction. Whether it's a falling channel, descending triangle, or falling wedge, that's up to your interpretation. The point is it broke out at the apex. And, now the fact that we were holding that 575 speaks that it might not be done here. This is how you know if you have continuation. And then the next level is right around, I believe it was, I know it's 645, but then there's a bigger, 709. So pay attention to that. But that's very similar to the XRP pattern. And XLM's another one you really had to pay attention to as we called out the inverted head and shoulders pattern forming. And now it's played it out. It's playing it out. And we had a beautiful consolidation. So now our big resistance is 13.2 after we get past the 200-day and the 4-hour, which we're at right now. We got rejected before at 12.8. And then you got to have a date with 13.2. But we have that uptrending support that was conveniently formed right before the breakout. We have a downtrending resistance that was formed. You expand it out. That's how you get the apex. There's no reason to confuse this. People can sell you their courses all they want, but this is the truth. You find your apex. So now if it's going to go out to the apex, it can still consolidate until September 3rd if it goes all the way out. Otherwise, we're trying to breach right now. So that's how you get the chart. That's how you break out. If you break down and fail this, you would lose the uptrend at 11.78 and you'd fall back within the pattern. The proper breakout would be at about 10.6 on September 3rd if it does it truthfully. If it stays true to the pattern. Right now it's outside of the pattern, so it is not staying true. It's actually breaking out early, which is a good sign if it's got liquidity. Brian Buckberry, thank you for the $5 donation. Greatly appreciate that with the number 1 in a balloon. I'll take it. Thank you so much. John Hall, good afternoon as well. Better late than never. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big chance the price will drop coming 24 hours. I just stepped into your great live because of work. In the next 24 hours, I would anticipate more of the same kind of momentum, whether it's a consolidation. I don't fully expect a big drop just yet. And I only say that because there's a lot of topside liquidity still to be had. XRP should catch up to what Bitcoin's already showing us, which conveniently as well, the Bitcoin chart was deleted off of my thing as well. Can you believe that? Remember I said since the update, my stuff keeps getting deleted and you guys see it in real time? I don't even know which Bitcoin chart I use, to be honest with everybody. It was either Binance or Bitstamp, I would imagine. Usually I use Binance because the chart goes back farther. Yep. So you guys seen how this deletes in real time. So, you know, if I was in my state of mind from 2021, I'd be cursing. But now it's about unity, positivity. See, and I like this. My new saying that I've been saying, I don't know if anybody's catching on, but I do the positivity over negativity. Hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag fight assassins. I love that. But what I've been saying lately, and it resonates, and I think it's so true in this time, we are the light in a world surrounded by darkness. So be the light, not the darkness. That's what we are in here. We're the light. And when you're the light, you can have a lot more people in here. So right now we're up to 54.35. We are absolutely the light. So now we're going to try to see. You want 542, ladies and gentlemen, to hold. We'll go back to that in a sec. Let it work itself out. Bitcoin's over 28,000. And I don't like to tell people like this is what's going to happen because I always say I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not going to gloat. Yes, it went up, but I also was talking about both directions. The only thing I'll say is we as a group and as a community, we did this together during the live. So it wasn't just I, it was all of us. It was you and I. So you can't have a strong community if it's just me at the top. It has to have all of us on the same pedestal. I may have the platform, but you have a voice. That's why I acknowledge everybody in the comments. Sometimes it gets a little hard, but, you know, with a growing community, that's what's going to happen. But if you want to show me the extra support, join Tom's Army today. I would love. About 75 to 80% who watch me daily in the lives are not part of Tom's Army. I would love for that percentage to shift a little bit. Whoops. So what do we think right now about Bitcoin? Do we think we're going to come up here and properly retest the breakdown? Yes or no? Yes or no is all you have to say unless you want to expand on that thought. And see, I'm doing this, my fasting is technically ended for today. I do it from, 9 p.m. until 1 p.m. So I only eat between 1 and 9 p.m. So technically I've been fasting 16 hours and 37 minutes. And I should be eating, but I'm not going to yet. I'm going to wait until after the live, no matter how long it takes. But I like the fast. You need that time to process your food from every day. And I've been doing it for like 4 to 5 months now. It's been a spectacular thing for me. Plus, I don't like to eat like everybody else certain ways, so I'm a weirdo. I'm a very plain eater. Water is my biggest delight. I don't really drink alcohol or liquor at all. I don't smoke cigarettes. I smoke cannabis. I don't really drink pop. I don't drink pop at all, really at all. I don't drink fruit juices anymore. So really, I drink water. And right now, today I'm drinking some Hawaiian water. The Hawaiian volcanic water. Get it while you can before everything goes to shit over there. I really think a water company should tap me. I think if I was ever to have a sponsor, I would sponsor a water company. A good one. Like Icelandic water if you're watching. So, yep. 16-hour fast every single day for me. Absolutely. Mostly 99% of what I drink is water on a daily basis. 1% alcohol and liquor for the times of the year I actually drink. Which I don't even know the last time I had a drink. When I went to that wedding what was it, 3 weeks ago, I think. But I don't drink at home. I don't go to the bar. I'm, as they would call back in the day, a basic bitch. Excuse my French. Very nicely done, True. That is excellent. Congratulations on that. The focus, I started intermittent fasting 1 month ago. Not bad, craving or weight. Absolutely. That's the thing when you fast. And like, I've been able to lift weight since I hurt my hand, which is getting a lot better. Notice, now it's only taped together and I've got flexibility coming back. I used to have a big splint on it. I had both fingers covered. Now it's my wrist is getting better. This hand is back. You know, I can do my thing. Hopefully I'm only about 2 weeks out from the gym, maybe a little bit longer. But it's going to take me, as of right now, if it goes the full 2 months, it'll take me 4 weeks to get my gains back. Not bad. Just dedication, but the fasting part was very key for me to keep doing that. You see, I was never a true smoker of cigarettes. I would hit Julie's cigarette every now and then, or if I was at a party, but I haven't even touched a cigarette, whether even just hitting it. I've never bought myself a pack of cigarettes. But just hitting it, I'm like, why am I even hitting a cigarette or hitting a nicotine pen? Like, how stupid am I? That's been years since I've done that even. I don't like the marijuana pens either. I don't know what's in it. I'd rather just stick to cannabis. You know, so I don't want to have a popcorn lung. So anyhow, let's get back to the topic at hand. Miss Vicky, welcome in. I just woke up and you were live. It's 3:40 a.m. Wednesday morning. Miss Vicky, I promise you can go back to sleep if you want, because I'll still be live at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just came on before I had to pick up the kids, so I've got, you know, about 20 minutes. I'm trying to lead everybody in. But Miss Vicky, remember how we've been talking and we've been doing this? And literally, we telegraphed this move. We knew, I told, and not just me, we, not just us, or me, or I, sorry. We told everybody, this doesn't feel right. Everybody's telling us they're going short. All the indicators, remember the FVG everybody told me about 2 days ago, and I said, ignore it. I said, we'll come down to 51 cents, and if we're bullish, we're going to hold that formation and break out. I kept saying, every single person is watching the indicators. They are a lagging indicator for a reason. Now they're going to point slightly bullish here, I guarantee it. But they're lagging. They catch the move after. They do predict a continuation a lot of times, but you have to go with the feel. If you predict the patterns, it's not that hard. We knew it was a broadening wedge. We predicted the move within 140 points of where it actually hit, or 150 points. Now we know the retest area. We first knew we had to come in here, which we did properly at 27,700. 27,300 was the first area in the daily. Now we got over the 4 hourly. We're trying to at 27,700 to hold. Next real area is to see if we can come back into the broadening wedge, which right now gets you down to 28,770. HR, doesn't matter if you're repeating as you said in your earlier post, at least you're not throwing numbers around like others irresponsibly. Yep, and I repeat because it's the move. It's part of the move. These are part of the moves to be had, so I have to repeat myself. And that's how past patterns make future moves. You know, it allows us to telegraph what's going on. We want to see XRP hold 54.2 for the next level up, FYI. And then somebody said, True said the nicotine buzz is hard to get over. It's on, even for me, even for somebody who barely hits cigarettes, if I would hit them once or twice a week, or if a Michigan game was on, or if you're, you know, whatever the case might be. Even that, I could feel that from going like 7 days. And I'm like, I barely even hit a cigarette and I can feel the sweats and stuff. I can only imagine what people who are smoking 2 packs a day are feeling. I'm telling you, it was a weird feeling just barely even having any nicotine. And you're talking, this has been years now. I refuse to even hit a pen. I don't care. I don't want it at all. And then somebody talked about fasting. I've been intermittent fasting now for 7 months, brother. I'm down 22 pounds and I feel so energetic. Don't you feel mentally more open as well? Have you guys not noticed a correlation with my content? My content's been the best it's ever been probably the last 3 to 4 months. It's no coincidence I started fasting in that time period. and started to take better care of myself, moved to positivity over negativity, got reconnected to my spiritual side, started attending church, and not because I think you have to go to church, but because I think it's nice to have the unity around you while speaking the Lord's word, or the Lord's name, and believing in the same thing, you know, and at least appreciating the same aspects. So I like to feel the buzz, and that's why I come here live every day. I like to feel the unity. The ones who stay understand. The ones who leave miss out on a whole heck of a lot of learning. So we're watching right now. Main area first is 542. And then ultimately the real area is 55.1. You're going to want to get over 55.2. So the reason why 542 is very urgent is that's the short-term formation. You want to get back over this. Watch this. I'll show you. When we get over it, you want to hold it. This is the ascending triangle. You get over the ascending triangle, your next real pattern here is this, what looks like a channel that was formed up at 64 cents all the way down to 44.62. So that's your range right now. Anybody ask me for a range, XRP's range is going between 438 and up to roughly 63 cents. So between 43 and 66 cents is your range. That's the channel we formed. But right now you can't even worry about the channel until in the short term you get on top of 542 and hold. Then you get over 552 in the all-time pattern, which we just looked at before that. And then you start breaking down these barriers. You start breaking down the daily time frame where I circled initially. I'm still looking at that area around 57 cents. You need to get back and re-break that area. Ultimately, that would allow you the support to retest the 200-day and the 4-hourly. Ultimately, if you broke 58 cents and held it, that would get you the support to retest the channel up here at 63 cents. It's a series of things that have to happen. It's like a big puzzle, but it all comes together. I am talked out. Let's chat. Let's chat. Thoughts, concerns. Appreciate you guys all hitting that like button as we have 142 likes, 129 still watching to the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you appreciate my content. If you're not getting the notifications, turn the notifications off and then put it back to all. Or unsubscribe to my channel and resubscribe. It works 9 times out of 10 for everybody who's been telling me. We'll go back to the XRP chart right before we leave. But I do have to wind down here as I have to go pick up the kids from school, at least the 10-year-old. I go with Julie's mom. It's our routine. As some of you know, I don't drive anymore. My left eye, I have keratoconus. I can't see out of it except a blur. I've had it since I was like 10 years old. Had it in my right eye, but it never progressed, and now it doesn't show it in my right eye. I was thought to be blind by the time I was 30, so if you want to talk about the Lord works in mysterious ways, he gave me the humbleness as a kid to understand what was going to happen when I got older. So, you know, that's part of it. So, you know, I'm very humbled. Very humbled. So let's, not very many can take the path I've taken just because I have different obstacles than a lot of people. Then I was humbled again when I broke my back at 23 in a car accident. That wasn't my fault, you know? Things happen. Things happen. Alejandro Lopez, thoughts on the bank's forced debt raise levels? I don't really have any thoughts on that yet. I don't really feel like it's forced as of yet. But I think we're going to have a big banking collapse. The bank balance they're not talking about. Make sure if you have a bunch of money in the bank, you start taking it out now. I'm just FYI, if you're in a credit union, much better position. They don't have the position of a lot of these weird loan or weird investments they go into and all this nonsense and weird backings they're into. So if you're in a bank, at least be part of a credit union. That's just... But you got to be very careful as people start pulling money out, and they're pulling it out. Whoops. So pay attention to that. But I have $32 in my account. Yeah, I have less than $2,000 in the bank. Only because I have enough money to pay my house payment, which I told everybody. You guys need to prepare. I got my new escrow redone for the year, and the amount it went up is shocking. Rachel, wait a minute, what is that? Rachel, my boyfriend has keratoconus also. He progressed to the point of corneal replacement surgery. Didn't go well. He is pretty. Yes, I was on the transplant list and I rejected. They've wanted me to get it since I was 16 years old. I had to wait till I was 28 because that's when your eyes mature, or 25. I don't remember. They wouldn't let me get it before then. They've called me every year until 5 years ago when I finally said stop calling me to get an eye transplant. I'm supposed to get a full cornea replacement in my left eye, but because I said I could see out of my right eye and it didn't seem to go any further, I said I didn't want to go through with it. I would have had to take anti-rejection medication. It is not a cool surgery. They literally cut your cornea out and put a dead person's cornea on it. Do a cornea transplant. And there's a whole slew of things that could go wrong with it. And unfortunately, Rachel, it seems like your boyfriend is experiencing that firsthand. Literally, they told me I would go a year and a half or 2 years not being able to do anything, walking into stuff because of the stitches in the eyes. And they're not normal stitches in most cases. A lot of them are hard stitches. Like a metal type, it's weird stuff going on. So, yeah, so I am blind in the left eye. I can't see anything at all. I see a big blur. I can't even see my screen right now. I can tell I have a tablet, but I can't see what I'm doing. So, if I only had my left eye, I could not do this. But my right eye makes it feel like I go from, you remember pixelated TV when we were kids? It makes me go from feeling that pixelated channels when you are trying to think you can see something, but you can't. That's how my eyesight is in my left eye. It looks just like that. In my right eye, though, it's like going from that to 4K TV. It's absolutely... So if I ever am not appreciative of things, I'll close my right eye for a little bit, try to walk around. I'll see how the world looks through my left eye. I can see the green grass, but I can't see the grass. You know, that's the weird thing. I can see the trees, but I can't see them. They're just kind of like a... They're kind of just like a shadow. I can see what everything kind of is, but I can't make out what... I can make it out, but it's no way to live here. It's like putting a fog over your eye. So you can see, but you can't. It's like having a cloud in front of the sun. You can see it, but there you go. You can technically see the sun, but you can't because there's a cloudy surface. So right now, out my right eye, and holy crap, does it change perspective. It's a beautiful world out there. To know that I could have been, you know, reduced to this kind of sight in both eyes, but to know the Lord and Savior, and I'm going to be 40 in December, when everybody said it was going to be 30 years old, you know, to see I'm going to be 40 now, and now my right eye, I still have this kind of vision. There's no signs of keratoconus, no, nothing. My right eye always looks nice now. I can never get the 20/20 vision. I have about 20/30, but I'll take it out of just being able to see out of one eye. So yes, I appreciate that. I don't even know how many people say it. I don't even care. I like when I give an insight. Positivity. Yes, I agree, Rachel. Better off without surgery. I've been trying to push that point for 20 years. As I was the youngest person, or 30 years now, the youngest person in the Beaumont Eye Institute ever to come in with this. And I had the fastest progressing case they had ever seen. They seen it, and within, by the time, I was like, I don't even know how young I was when I was fully blind. By the time they seen it, I was already fully blind in my left eye. Yeah, so when you're positive and you do it based out of love and faith and unity, you don't focus on being the victim. You focus on being the winner. You don't focus on divisiveness. You focus on being unified. You don't focus on the politics of the world. You focus on the reality. It's like, well, I don't like to attack personal people on influencers, even if somebody brings them up. I might make a funny remark, but honestly, I think they all do their own purpose. There's a few of them that I've given a hard time, but honestly, for news, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't even care if he hates me, Crypto Hawk. If you're just looking for news, you got to get past the rage. I think he does a good job for news. Hell, I think Extra VOD for news does a spectacular job, and he keeps it light. They can get a laugh at his expense, even if he tries to do the technicals. But those are news sources, you know, that you can go to. Digital Asset Investor, I don't like, but you can get the news. So, see, Rachel, you understand exactly. It's not easy. I'm sure he walks into walls. He doesn't have the peripheral, so the side to side is hard. They're all fudsters in their own way, but still, they give out information, so you can't just say they're 100% have no use. It's what I say. With me, you don't have to cycle out the FUD from the truth. It's all the real news and the real charts. With most of them, you have to cycle out the news from the fake. But there's still value in some of it. Some of them, like the run guys, there's no value. I'm sorry. Ironically, they attacked me when I was a very small channel. Can you believe the audacity of those guys? So anyhow, but you focus on the bigger agenda. We're focused on XRP. So if we can get some help out of them, like I need the help from Blockchain Backer. I just tell you the obvious part that he's bought and paid for because he's in every media section. He's told you for years it's going to go up when it goes down. He does great technicals in the moment, but predictions are awful. He's also been bought and paid for because of all this stuff is in the mainstream narrative now. $26 or $28, is impossible next year. Not because I don't think XRP has the ability to get there at some point. We don't have the proper liquidity in crypto in 2024. It doesn't come in fully until 2028, but you can't get that kind of liquidity until mid to late 2025. So, but for transparency, I've always supported Blockchain Backer and said that I like him. It's just you have to be very careful with the long-term propositions. The short-term charting is spot on. There's a few of them that I actually like Crypto Teacher I like. I can never give a real explanation why I like. Sue me. That's one person I like. There. That's one person I like. That I won't even give you to be biased. I like Peter Schiff unbiasedly. Robert Kiyosaki unbiasedly. Mike Maloney unbiasedly. Jordan Peterson. I like Ben Mala for real estate unbiasedly. They all do their sponsorships and everything, but that's the only way you're going to get them on a free source like YouTube. I'm not big enough to command that. And even if I was, that's not my style. I don't live in that world. I'm a different world. I'm you and I. This is, by me making it, it's like you making it. And until I take a sponsorship or a paid promotion or paid advertisement, we're on the same level. I haven't been bought and paid for. The moment you see me coming in and saying, what everybody else says, then we got a problem. Love Coins Kid as well. I won't even say negative. The only thing I don't like is sometimes the overly bullish narrative. But you know what? You're starting to see that more out of me, showing more of the bullish side instead of always focusing on the negative. So I understand it. I like Coins Kid personally. Nothing bad to say about him. I think he puts a lot of value in there for somebody who doesn't understand the charts, shows you the Fibonacci, shows you a lot of the time frames as well, so that you can understand in the day-to-day flow. So I don't mind him. See, the positive approach does suit me better. I even got personally assaulted by personally attacked by way of an assault threat by Crypto Hawk, and I said, that doesn't bother me. I live 30 minutes from Detroit. I would shake his hand, and I'm sure we'd be friends at the end of it because we do things a little bit different around here, but I still think there's ways for us to be unified. I like him. He can hate me all he wants. I'm allowed to criticize style, just like everybody's allowed to criticize me if you don't like me. That's fine. Fair criticism, Matt. Fair criticism, and one I've said about him in the past. If you want to be the show, you've got to stay the show, which means you got to be here during every moment, whether on vacation or not. When I'm on vacation, do I act like I'm on vacation? No, I do my charting. I don't even talk about the damn vacation. I still do it. I go to a private room. Don't say, oh, look behind me, I'm on vacation. I just do it as if it's normal standard operating procedure. I'm not here to glorify. I'm here to tell you the truth. So anyhow, I know, Miss Vicky, I know, and that's my ultra criticism, as you guys know, about Crypto Hawk. But still, I'm just saying there's news value there. I don't watch them anymore, but there's still news value. How do people dislike one another? I don't know. I don't know how people dislike one another. Are you talking about how do you dislike somebody on YouTube? You can hit the dislike button, but it doesn't show anymore for some reason. I see the percentage. My channel is a 98% like ratio. That is, I'm telling you, I don't know what the national average is, but mine's 98.2% over my lifetime. I don't know how many people have that high of a like. Touche. Touche. I agree with that, who you don't like, and I'm not saying anymore. Is that Crypto Veil the one that's tied to the hip to BitBoy Crypto? Or should I say Ben, former BitBoy Crypto? Remember what I said about Ben? I said, don't buy the Ben coin. This is his absolute downfall, and this is his last act. I said it when he did it. He's getting out. This is his last scam. And I said he was an entity for years. It wasn't BitBoy Crypto. Ben was just part of BitBoy Crypto. He was created. Just like all these people are creative. I'm not created. All these entities that are formed, you notice how all these stations you watch, all of a sudden there's another influencer that shows up all of a sudden? That's a uniformed effort. That's paid and bought for. That's the controlled opposition. You want real sources. I'm a real freaking source. And I always said the truth will shine. It'll take longer, but it's coming to the light. I can't do this and lie every single day. If I'm lying, it can't happen the way it's happening. I wouldn't be building our portfolios for free. I wouldn't be showing you all the indicators for free, all of the technology and all the knowledge and all the adoption and all of everything, the ISO tokens to hold and all the others, and not speaking to the shit coins for no reason. Oh yeah, the algorithm is very important. Very important. That's why I tell you guys, hit the like button. If you want to be able to compete with their communities, which we're starting to. When I had 3,000 people, everybody laughed. When I had 7,000 subscribers, nobody took us seriously. When I got to 10, they started bashing. I even got bashed at 1,500 subscribers. I mean, if you look at our second month badge, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bashed me to his audience. I had no audience. He's got 50,000 people, and everybody left, half my audience, because they were all basically watching him. So that's why that's the second month badge. And it will always be the second month badge. Take a closer look at it. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Absolutely, Law Docs. But we pay attention to all, we watch it. We watch it. Oh no, I don't shrug anybody off anymore. I acknowledge in a unified way that we could all be unified. I would love these people to come reach out to me because I could offer them a lot. If they speak the news, why not say, hey, if you guys want to know more about XRP and you want to see the charts on a day-to-day basis, no BS, but they can't. You understand? They cannot send their people to my station, and I understand that. They're doing paid promotions, advertisements, and sponsorships and doing things the way I'm not. If you went into that station, and when I come on, it's instantly into the charts. I do a little breakdown maybe at the beginning of some updates, then you hear my intro, which is 30 seconds, which somebody created for me. Would you rather watch that and get 2 minutes of info on their 50-minute video, or come in and watch mine and it's 10 minutes, straight to the point, in and out, no promotion? Eventually, this is going to be the way of YouTube, period. We don't need all the rest. It's how you're bought and paid for. It's no different than in politics. If you're bought and paid for, you read the company line. I am the company line. I could say I'm T-Speak at 222 Incorporated. So, we're still working on this. I'm just trying to kill time here. I got to go to the school soon, but I wanted to see if we were going to get any volume here, but it looks like we have a gravestone doji. We're getting rejected here again. This very well might be a nice spot for consolidation. So, if I was in a futures trade, if I was looking at this, this is where you have to make the educated and informed decision. Do you think we have the volume here to come up? Or is it more likely we're going to try to sustain, ready? Try to sustain this golden cross move. Remember, it behooves us not to validate or move up. Big wick, fail, 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 which means in the whole 4-hour candle now we're about to fail. Or we already did. We got an hour right there in that candle. So there's possibly, yes, the volume's still coming. That's why it's hard to decide. Yep, always set your stop loss in the green. If I was in a futures like I showed from 51.6, I would not have a stop loss any lower, just out of transparency, and some are going to think I'm crazy. No lower. Let me see this 2-hour. Let me see the 15. Because that is a gravestone, which means we're probably going to consolidate unless this pushes out in the next 11 minutes. So let's see how this works out here. But this is showing a little pressure here. This is more of a gravestone in the 15, even though we still bounced up with the wick. And then we're showing like, could be, and this B really likes me. If you sting me, sir, it doesn't bother me. I'll just shrug it off and I'll keep doing my live. But you're going to die. And I don't want that. I need you guys pollinating. I have a lot of stuff around here. I think. So it's either we're going to hit here, or you have to go up just a little bit higher in the all-time pattern. It's just a little bit higher. So you land on me again. I don't want you to sting me because I don't want you to die. But if you have to, I suppose, do what you got to do. 5417. We want to get over that, obviously, is the resistance we're trying to firmly get over and hold. So, Sean Folan, thank you so much. Sunny days, here I am. Yes, indeed. Thank you for the $5 donation. I greatly appreciate you supporting my work. So as I was saying, if you're in a leverage trade, I would, because then I would just look to pull it back up after. Because we're at this 200 range, if we're looking for the next real cross, if we get rejected here, so if you want to be conservative, you could put it under this previous candle in the 1 hour at 534 area, but I'm looking for a little more to take than that. So 527 is where we're looking for that hit. We're looking for that hit of confirmation if we do start breaking down. Yes, I know volume is coming in, but remember, first candle here in the hour, we had 6.7 million. Successive candles, 1.3, 918, 400,000. That means it's drying up here and we're looking for a retouch. You never break out without a retap, ever. Never happens. You can go up higher and then use this area as a retap, but if we're using that 542 as resistance, retap area has to be 526. We'll draw it. It has to be that area. We don't have an exception here. Unless you want to go out to the 2 hour that's way earlier, but it hasn't even made the move yet. You can go to the 45, but to me it's not a big enough time frame. I would rather come down to the hourly. So if we're breaking down, that's where we're going to see our next retest. We're going to have a lot to talk about on the live later, so please join. I would personally, what I'm going to do, we have this candle where we had a gravestone. I'm putting the stop loss at 5373. So anybody who understands what I'm talking about, that's where I, wink, wink, would put the stop loss. I don't advocate futures, but if you're in a futures, that is what I would do. The futures trade, wink, wink, that we talked about in code yesterday is up $288 right now on a $600 10x trade. I'm not lying. That's what it's at. So you're going to want to conserve some of that. So putting the stop loss, and I'm going to tell you what it's going to be so nobody is left out in the cold. And I don't do this. You don't do this. But remember, when I speak in code, I don't futures trade. But when there's a moment or opportunity, I'll take advantage of it. Like when a pattern needs to go for the apex. I had a stop loss under that would have made me lose $80. If I lost that, I would only have 520 of capital. When that runs out, my futures trading career ends. It started with $100 not too long ago. And I've been building up for months. Yep, I mean, you could do that. But I do this in a different kind of way. So, we are up 48.5%. We don't futures trade. I don't advise it. It's the easiest way to lose your portfolio. You have to have separate funds. This is not attached to my money at all. I had $100 on BitGet, and now it's ballooned to over 900. That's all I left on there, and I've been secretly futures with all of you who understand. True knows what I'm talking about. A lot of you know. But I put this at the back end of these updates, these lives, an hour and 18 minutes. Who's really watching right now? Nobody. If they're watching after. Nobody's sitting through an hour and 18 minutes. If you're part of the live, I commend you. So 0.517, I'm going to do 0.517, or I mean 537. That would give us 40%. That's $237. That's the stop loss. You are safe. I'm going to confirm it. So no matter what, even if we get stopped out, it's at 537. I'm okay with it. It would be a 40% move on $600. Do the math. That nets us $235 roughly. And now I would have in the future $835 if I get stopped out. I don't care that it's at 923. So, oh no. Listen guys. I don't make predictions, so I appreciate the 70% success rate. I think that's a little low, but that's a fair number. but I don't make predictions. So I could see how it's misinterpreted on making predictions. If it would have went to 37.5 cents, couldn't you have also said I made that prediction on a breakdown? So I'm just trying to show you the pattern formation. So, but yeah, I think I'm a solid 71.6% personally. No, but fair enough, my friend, fair enough. So that's what we're looking at. And for anybody who was paying attention, yesterday and the day before when I talked about everybody's going short, all we need is our tap in that formation and we're good. Ooh, true, 71.6 might be a better formation. That might be the area. We had a short-term chart here, and we said as long as it held, and we had our stop loss just below it if you were paying attention. So you would have lost 80 bucks on 600. But we're hoping not to get stopped out. We're hoping that's not the point here. The point is you're using it. We're hoping that 542 gets used, and I can ultimately use the 542 as my stop loss. We're in no man's land right now. That's why I put it there. So I'm trying to see a move up here ultimately, get closer to 55 cents, and then once it gets up to about 546, I'll put my stop, or 546 area, yeah. I'll put my stop loss at 542. Because then I know if it breaks that, we've got a nice retracement. First level 537, second level 53.2, and then so on. Or 53.1, and then back on. So that's how I approach these. I'm not looking to lose money, folks. I tell you every day. I don't care what anybody says. If you do it day after day, you're going to lose money. You have to do it strategically. I don't do it day after day. This is the first one I've taken out in over a month. Over a month. I just do it when the opportunity presents itself. We had a rare opportunity where XRP did us a solace here, and it allowed me to show it yesterday in the live. We did a firm solace here yesterday by XRP. It showed us the breakout point. So we had to break down, and we knew that we could only come down so far. It actually came down a little farther than I'm saying, but we had a stop loss below it. So that, I mean, that's in the USDT, so that looks a little different. If we go into the chart we were using in the USD, it'll validate it very easily. But just pay attention. And I'm not saying you're going to do this every day. The next time this opportunity might happen is a month. It could be 2 months. I don't live or die by it. But what I'm doing is it keeps me focused on the short term and long term. But you can't, I'm telling you though, there's a certain logic here. It's not an everyday tool. It's just when you get pushed into an area, you can start to use it to your advantage. That simple. It's just that simple. And that was not the formation I was using. And like, I won't talk about it either way, but when it's up like that, everybody knows where the stop loss area is. I don't need to talk about it further. But when it makes the move that we're trying to play, and I purchased that. I don't know if anybody caught the time I purchased that at. I think that's the most remarkable part of the whole thing. I didn't even purchase that until this morning. I talked about it last night, but the timestamp, that's the best part about that whole thing. I literally bought it like an hour before the breakout because I reiterated it in the morning update. But it's gonna be an interesting proposition here for XRP. We're starting to break the next liquidity zone. As I see, it's starting to push to the next layer here a little bit. But that's what you gotta have faith in yourself if you're gonna do something. It's just, that's the bottom line. I mean, I don't know how else to describe the message today. So I got 50% right now, so plan accordingly. I'm just going through everybody's stuff right now. A lot of good stuff in here today, everybody. I appreciate it. Like I said, you don't need to join Tom's Army. You don't need to send a donation for any of this information. It's all here for everybody. I don't know the size of somebody's wallet, but I do know I can help expand the wallet just by listening every day. So that was the breakout point. So if we do break down, this is important to have this just in case. So we wanted to have the retest, and once we got it, this is the market cap. So that's important. So we've got everything set up from that perspective. We broke, ooh, look at this, folks. Let's pay attention. Right now, again, we're back on top of this short-term area. If we can break above, we've got a bigger move put in place. So let's see, we could have higher highs on 30.8 billion here for the market cap. So let's pay attention if we're going to use this as support. The stop loss is in place, not just for that small, but I'm not talking to that anymore. I don't want to speak of it. I don't want any chat about it. I don't want anybody to know about it. So it's your due diligence not to speak of this as if it's happening. You just know. Essentially, Grayscale won their appeal against the SEC, which essentially means the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF was approved without all the fancy crossing the I, or dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so to say. It is true. I mean, it's going to get to a point here with XRP where it's going to make it very, very interesting in a very short amount of time. I don't necessarily like that candle formation because that's set up more like a gravestone. A lot of bottom side pressure with a top side wick. That doesn't usually end well. But that is, it's just a daily time frame. It could be signaling that we have a big, nice candle to form on the next candle. So it could just mean a breakout. We just have so much of a breakout on the top of the wick. So, that's what I got, everybody. So you got all the information. I got to get ready, though, because I got to pick up the little one from school. Not so little anymore. 10, right, Julie? She's not so little anymore. But we're up to 542 theory. Remember, if you're part of what we were talking about, if it goes up for me to around the 54.8 level, somewhere in there, 54.6, my objective is to put my stop loss at 542, and then I'll reevaluate. Because there's other ones that are lining up that, we could... I never buy in twice on the same move unless it consolidates back down. So there's no sense of saying, could I go from this to something else? No. It's this or nothing right now, period. You never buy in the same move twice. So yeah, I feel good about this update. Let's finish this, and I feel good. We got a lot of information out there. If you haven't seen the Bitcoin ETF news, this is it. Oh, well, if you didn't see this in my update either, this is this. Yes, everybody, I keep talking about this every single time. Please, I love Uphold. It is my go-to. But in times of high volatility, I have one exchange that I use. I use BitGet for my futures trading, as everybody knows, if I ever do it, because I like the usability. Period. If you're part of the USA, you can use it. So I should still be sharing that in the comments, and I will in the future so everybody can see it. Not in the video comments, but like in the video description and in the comments. But if you're talking about straight trading and then sending it to Uphold or having extra money on there like I do on FEMX in the form of XRP to where I can sell in high times of movement, it's only 3,000 tokens. 12,222 are never moved, but I'm very transparent about what I do. You can go to FEMX. They are never down. It's trading very quickly right now during the 94% move. It never went down either. So I have a lot of faith in FEMX. It's Web3 enabled. They're updated to the tax code. XRP was not taken off. So it was a place you could buy XRP still. Even when it was security against retail, they kept it on. So check out FEMX. It's free. I'm not an affiliate. That's why it's a registration link. Take a look at it. It's another on-off ramp. You don't need to do a KYC if you're sending from another exchange. No VPN needed in any circumstance in the USA. So you can do that. You need to use a KYC if you're going from a bank account, which you would want to, or a credit card. But I do on and off ramping from there, and I have not done a KYC, period. Yes, FEMX. It's Web3 enabled. It's up to date with the ISO protocol, so it's perfectly functional within that. And that's the link right there, everybody. I just shared the link in chat. You can just click on it. That's the registration. And just search through there, take a look. So, but there's no incentive. I can't offer you an incentive. I'm not affiliated. I'm not a partner with them. So the only incentive I can give you is that's what I use, and it doesn't go down during the high times of volatility, and that's why I use them, period. I can tell you I like BitGet for futures if I ever do it. And like I said, I've done it one time in the last 3 months. Honestly, one time in the last 3 months, I've been able to do it. I like MEXC for things that aren't on the other exchanges. But again, MEXC and BitGet, as of right now, new users you can't use. So that's where we're at right now. Yeah, I've heard a lot of exchanges block a lot of people. I don't know personal circumstance or what happened. So I'm not here to judge. I do it emotionless and only based on my experience. No offense. And based on what I can gather. So I'll keep that in mind though, Sean, in case that keeps happening. XRP does not need an off-ramp, but it does. Listen, Lee. Ready? I buy my XRP. I did it last time on BitGet. Currently it's on FEMX. I need that off-ramp to other exchanges without the KYC so that I can buy it and send funds over there from another exchange. And then I can send my purchase back to the exchange like Uphold that has higher fees. Or to send it to your wallet, you're going to want to have other access to be able to send it to your wallet. If that's your way. Where the fees are cheaper. Exactly, Law Docs, exactly. And I let the chat speak of they always bring up the futures trades, and I just try to validate what they're saying and give them parameters. That's all I've ever done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love how you said that, Law Docs. Absolutely. Chance says, what did he say? Or Williams. Got a couple of nice long positions with decent volume running on XRP. Still feel like we still may get another. That feeling will always be there, like True said. Absolutely. Absolutely. So look, everybody, here's the main narrative. Bitcoin rallies, crypto assets surge after Grayscale wins suit over SEC. Grayscale wins SEC lawsuit for Bitcoin ETF review. And in the review, the fact they're going to review, to me, it's all but tells you that Bitcoin ETF is going to be put in. When you look at the nefarious characters behind it with Grayscale and BlackRock, they can tell you it's going for review, but this is all done. This is all theater now. It's a done deal. Especially because Europe has their first Bitcoin ETF that was approved a couple weeks ago under the ruse of something else. Grayscale spot, and then they're talking about Ethereum with their spot Bitcoin, or their spot ETF in the USA. And it's already been passed through the first level. Bitcoin saved from dismal August by landmark Grayscale ruling. So this doesn't happen by accident. We were talking about a big reversal and a big bear trap before this even happened. Remember I said chart predicts news? The charts once again predicted when they put this news out and this decision. It was ready. We got the downside liquidity. They put out Mr. Barry shorting all the markets, especially the S&P, or into the actual Dow and stuff. They keep talking about how the SEC is appealing, but it's the security status, which is untrue. It's only Brad Garlinghouse and Christian A. Larson's. They've in fact said it's nothing more than a computer code with XRP, so and it cannot even be a security with institutions. They bit themselves in the ass by not only saying that, but by going against them individually. They've ruled that it's not they're saying that it's not a security. They're manipulating it in other ways, but it's not a security. They've already concluded this. It's just you have to go through the theater, like I said, likely through 2024, maybe even 2025. But for us and the buyers, it doesn't matter. Institutions just have to make it a little harder for them to buy. They have to go through exchanges, but that's it. Make sure you all hit that like button for the last minute. I got to go. I didn't realize it was so late. I got to go pick up the little one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you appreciate my work. I appreciate the 122 people who tuned in during this live. Everybody who sent a donation. If somebody wants to subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to join Tom's Army, that's a great way to pay it forward. And then with the XRP on the way out, we're at 5429. We're looking to hold this 542 first layer. This is an extreme layer that we need to hold for support. And then maybe we can start pushing out of here now. We are starting to form a little bit of support here around the 53. It's about the 53.1 level. And ultimately the 524 has been a nice support. But we're trying to reestablish support at 542. I'll catch you all tonight on the live at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will try to do updates in between, but I've already done several updates today. I've been very busy. I've done, I think, 3 updates. This is a live. I'll be doing another live tonight. I gotta go pick up the kids, yada, yada, yada. So it's very busy. But before I go out, for anybody who's paying attention, for anybody who's never seen this, and for anybody who might be scared about staying at the channel, I will give you a reason to exit stage left if you would like, or to be an even bigger fan than you already are. I will show you the original version, and then I will show you the version that somebody made for me, and that will be my exit for tonight. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, I wouldn't be here. We are all in this together, and remember, and this is the key, we are the light in a world surrounded by darkness, and we take that proudly. Ladies and gentlemen, the sun. Well, I guess the sun is not in business right now because I did not hit the right button because there were so many comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, the sun. Sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught with the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash, and we did, and we had, and we did, and we will, and we have, and we did, and now we rise. Oh yeah. Is it a bear trap or not? We don't know. Stay true. Stay blessed. I don't know what the hell happened to the sun today. He's not looking so well. Looking like he got some stitches in the eye. Not too bad though. And now, what somebody created off of that song, I did it one time. At the time, I had only done it one time in a clean version. And they got it and turned it into, where the hell's the music? They turned it into this, everybody. I'll catch you later tonight, but I hope you appreciate this. Sunny days. Sunny days. Here again. Sunny days. Here again. Sunny days. Here again. Sunny days. Here again. I wear glasses 'cause we're famous around here, ladies and gentlemen. We made it. You haven't made it till somebody makes a song and an intro for you. With you singing. Sunny days, here again. Sunny days, here again. Sunny days. Join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month.